Now, from your weather authority, here's Chief Meteorologist Dan Smith.
Well, one last flash of the day just before school starts, folks, and what a doozy it was, actually. We have plenty more where that came from. A lot of viewers sent in some photos earlier tonight, and outside right now, 85 degrees, pretty nice. All told, just around 50% for the humidity, though. Feels a little bit humid. Really doesn't feel all that bad, I suppose. 5 to 10 miles an hour, really varying light and variable winds so far. We aren't really expecting that to ramp up too much more in the next couple of days, for that matter. High-res Doppler radar over the last few hours, you had very, very sparse shower and storm coverage, and even just down here towards Mason County, I was noticing. But moreover, let's zoom on in here and see what we can find. You see a couple of these boundaries that just formed, and I was really looking hard at this around 8, 9 o'clock earlier tonight for maybe seeing some extra development. They actually did, but they weren't allowed to fizzle out just around 9 o'clock. We had some fizzling out here just around Concho County, right there on the county line. Ultimately, nothing really for San Angelo, except a lot of great viewer photos here. Gary's sending this one in, putting a lot of light on this, and all different perspectives. It almost seemed like it was on just the exact same storm. Again, here's one from Dennis King. Almost just looks like this big old mushroom cloud or anything, a cotton candy or something. If you thought that was impressive, A, you're right, but B, take a look at this, the exact same storm, I believe, and just beautiful, beautiful striations on this, just watercolors painted across the West Texas sky. Equal measure here, thanks to Michael Lanty. Thanks for sending this one in as well. Just that last gasp, that last little flash of red on the horizon. And again, silhouetting the clouds, it all depends on your perspective of this. And you know it, I know it, but you see 365 sunsets every year, but they always just seem to be so spectacular out here in West Texas. Now, I like this distant shot, too. You got all the rain right down here, just very concentrated where it was actually falling, but that tower just extends way high up into the atmosphere, for that matter. Melanie showing the end result, too, a little bit further up close. All of that rain just dousing wherever that happened to be. If you do have a photo like that, Facebook.com/Dan Smith Weather, or email me, dsmith@klst.net. 98 was our high for today, a little bit above those averages, which are slowly going down. We've kind of reached the peak for the year here, and 0.4 of an inch over for the year. I'm almost reflexively saying under because we had it for so many months. Now, as for the tropics, Pacific Ocean specifically, Hurricane Lane really making inroads here towards the Big Island. Could be barely skirting here as a Category 4 or 3 hurricane as this is slowly dissipating, making that hard turn north and then making another hard turn west. That's all going to depend on where this thing actually manages to track high and low pressure systems. Sometimes even this far out, you barely gauge what they're going to do, but I imagine they're going to be quite a soaker there on the Big Island, let alone the entirety of Hawaii over the next few days. This thing, I think, is barely holding on as a Category 4, might even be a Category 5 by the morning. As for locally, well, of course, we are going back to school for tomorrow, so here are just some general safety tips for you. You might want to pack a water bottle for the kiddos in the backpacks there, light or loose-fitting clothing, and maybe some ice packs. Might consider that for some of the lunch boxes. Some of the schools don't provide the lunches there, and even a hat and some sunscreen for recess. I know it's maybe unlikely that your boy or girl might be putting on some sunscreen before they rush out that door for the first recess, seeing all their friends, but again, just a little bit of a recommendation. 72 degrees for tonight, plenty of clear and starry skies now that we're slowly starting to clear out. 100 degrees for tomorrow, though. It is going to be a hot one, needless to say, just a few thin clouds out there. And your weather authority 7-day forecast, warm for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, not much different going on through the weekend, barely holding below the century mark, and at this point we're almost just used to this. We could be hitting close to 50 days, I think, of triple digits before we even hit the weekend. Might still have more Saturday and Sunday. Rain chances, not a forget it, at least for the next week.
All right.